Blessings upon all my AkHis and all my sisters out there. Welcome to Split Decision. I'm your host, AkHi. Of course, in the red corner, pound for pound, #1, undisputed. AkHi. To my left, in the blue corner, the one and only.
3P, you know how it is. Professor Nelms, a pundit with the PhD in pugilism. You know, laying it down. I hope everybody's out there good and safe. You know, tonight we're dealing with a different time in America, but this is the time that we need to come together.
So that's the time you realize your health is your wealth. That's the time you realize how much blessed you are, because people worry about the other man's pocket, how much money they got, instead of looking at their health and how much they are better than the next person. So with that being said, you got to be appreciative. You got to thank God every day, because tomorrow is not promised. So coronavirus done knocked out every sport there is, including boxing. Shakur was supposed to fight last night, but
except UFC still going on.
Well, you already know UFC. They got it all planned out, you know. But boxing, they won't prepare for that. You know, coronavirus undefeated right now. So UFC, they have a good structure where they making the fights only for the media members to attend.
Yep.
And then, you know, of course they're gonna lose out on ticket sales, but the show must go on.
Yeah, and then you got to think about, so if it's on TV, there's advertisement.
There's money coming in.
There's money. So
and there's no other sport. There's no
Yeah.
other sport, you know, from what I know, that's going around other than UFC. So they're gonna get a lot of ratings. So it's gonna actually make up for it. So boxing, from PBC to Top Rank to all the above, they might want to follow the UFC blueprint and actually, you know, follow that blueprint by hosting fights without any crowd. Now, what's crazy was Bob Arum came out stating that he was actually planning on doing the Shakur fight with whatchamacallit. He was actually planning to do the Shakur fight without any attendance, without the crowd, without the fans. But then all of a sudden, the New York Commission said absolutely not. You know, we got to solve this issue beforehand. So what's your take on that? What do you think the coronavirus, how long that's going to last till we can actually see more boxing?
Well, yeah, so part of it is that it's a pandemic, so it's an international spread of this virus. So you got to think about where these shows are at and where the spread, or how well that nation is controlling the spread of the virus. So the UFC show was in Brazil, and as AkHi stated, it was just for the media. There was no audience there. I watched a little bit of it on TV on ESPN, and it was I was still able to enjoy the fight. It was this kind of audible echo that you could hear throughout, but they actually had a continuity or a contingency plan that was in place. I think that we have to be responsible for this, regardless of where it came from, how it got here. We know that it's here, and it is spreading at an exponential rate. I did some calculations that are not woefully accurate because we don't have tests out here at this point. But what I did find out is that it was the infection to death rate was around 7. No. So the infection rate was, as far as people tested to people who came up positive, was 17%. Which is crazy. So that's almost a fifth. So that means that every 5 people that you talk to, that means that one of them have it. Because that's I'm rounding up, because that'll be 20%. But
that's worldwide or in the U.S.?
Not U.S. So U.S. infection rate. So that's not death rate. That's infection rate. The death rate is worldwide they'll say it's about 3.4%. Which isn't bad. It's probably maybe a little bit less than that, but we don't know until we start testing all the people. But so with that said, there are some things that you can do to help prevent the spread of this, and I think that we all should be mindful of it. So it all starts by having some of these closings, or at least kind of limiting your exposure to big crowds, because part of it is it's this kind of silent, deadly thing that spreads around. And with that said, you could go 2 months and have it and spread it without showing any symptoms. So that's the kind of scary part that we need to be aware of.
Can you say, from your knowledge, is it the most dangerous virus yet?
No, as far as fatality?
Yeah, because there was a virus in 1918, if I'm not mistaken, that killed around 30 million people, something like that.
I mean, I think worldwide. So that was the Spanish flu. So you also had to remember there was no kind of vaccinations so I don't think it's on that level, because we're just advanced as a people. Our technology is advanced, and it's not as deadly as, say, Ebola, which had a ridiculous mortality rate up there. But Ebola was super hard to get Ebola, right? So Ebola, it was spread through fecal matter and blood and all that. Yeah. So, but this is just it's airborne, it's droplets. It can be something that you touch, and you might touch your face and then touch something, and if somebody comes behind you, it spreads easily. Yeah, it
spreads easily, and I heard even if you standing 6 feet away from a person, you can still get it. That's how far you got to stay from a person. So be cautious. Always wash your hands. That's the main thing. It's a good fight. At the end of the day, though, shout out to everybody in the chat. Shout out to all my AkHi. Shout out to the AkHi Nation, the AkHi family. AkHi stands for my brother, and this is the Boxing Brotherhood. Split Decision is a boxing debate / talk show. So subscribe below if you're trying to get smart about a minute. If you're trying to get dumb about a second, don't. And listen to these decasts, a.k.a. dumb casual ass fans / old media. Of course, new media in the house we representing. Shout out to DBN for starting the new media wave that I'm a part of. And if you're a casual fan and you want to be a hardcore, all you have to do is click on the notification bell to get notified every time we post, to go live on Split Decision every Sunday live. The hottest boxing debate show out there. So tune in, click on the notification bell so you won't miss a show. And hopefully one day you will graduate from the AkHi University, where I preach the truth and nothing but the truth, and the truth will set you free. So you can try to hide from it, but at the end of the day, you can't hide it, because the truth will find its way out. With that being said, today, you already know, people saying in the chat, Professor Stevie Wonder, he concussed because he didn't see AkHi coming. So with that being said, state your last thoughts, and then we're going to take the last call, and then we're going to end the show and see y'all next week.
Y'all already know what it is. Cool, calm, and collective. You know what I'm saying? I should be 3C instead of 3P, but punted with the PhD in pugilism. Call in. I love substantive arguments, discourse, back and forth. I do speak in narrative. That's where professor comes from. It's like you profess. And so, because context is important, and I also like to speak in a way that's edifying, because I like to teach. And also, I learn some too. Like, I don't mind when facts come and stuff.
You know what I bring? I bring facts to the table. I speak the truth, not my emotion. I speak logic and facts.
I would agree to disagree.
And you say you call you 3C, 3 caps, because today you capping 3 times. When I knocked you out, you thought it was a split decision. Nah, it's a knockout, because that's why it's called 3 caps.
Said Professor Nails is undefeated, so I appreciate.
In his dreams. I appreciate that. Look, Professor, I would have enjoyed the show better today if I had a lower IQ. But at the end of the day, I got a higher IQ, and you already know they don't see me coming. So, like I said, you could say he undefeated, but prove me wrong. No one had an answer to my questions, and I answer all the questions. So I'm gonna call the last caller of the day, as I promised them. It's 2-minute limit per person, but like I said, we give exceptions sometimes, and y'all got to keep in mind, y'all can't be mad at me, because it's so many callers that I'm receiving. I'm doing like a 5-man operation. So I'm doing so much. I got to pick up calls. I got to read comments. And I got to knock out Professor Nim. And I want him to see the punch that I'm going to knock him out with. So, it's a lot I got to do. You know what I mean? So
I do want to make one comment, though. And I think it's appropriate.
Yeah, go ahead.
And I want to say that, there was some controversy about Wilder and them throwing in the towel. And Wilder, he said that he wants to go out on his shield.
He's a real champion. That's why he cut from a different cloth.
If you can't even get to the fight with your armor on, how the hell you gonna go out on your shield? I'm gone.
You need a question.
I'm gone.
You need a question. Tyson Fury punching with a bare knuckle. That's what you need to focus more on than a guy that's willing to go out on his shield and die in the ring for what he loved. That's how you be great in something. So you could take notes because you over here not doing your homework and your research coming into Split Decision. Who this AkHi and where you calling from?